Okay, so we've reached chapter 6 of our listening skills, and we're basically going to recognize attitudes and opinions of different speakers over here. So we'll practice different different things over here, like identifying attitudes and persuasion and suggestions. As they're going to come along, they will become more clear to you. Let's start with the first one, which is identifying attitudes and opinions. Okay, so we're going to listen to the sections the speaker are trying to make a decision or reach an agreement. Identifying the speaker's opinion can help you to answer the question correctly. Okay, so what we have to do is we're going to identify, like I'm going to play, and it's probably going to have these 8 extracts, and we're going to complete the extracts and also tell if it is a strong agreement, or if there it's not neither a complete agreement or a complete disagreement, or it's a complete disagreement. These sentences, okay? Okay. First of all, you can write down, just fill in the blanks, complete the extracts. Next, you can select what the attitude is with of the of the speaker. Okay. This is 23. Um, wait, where is this? Oh, it's there. Searching for it here.
Recording 23. 1,
Well, I agree up to a point.
2. I think that's a really valid point. 3,
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
4. I think you're absolutely right. 5,
That's a bit hard to believe.
6. I think that's highly unlikely. 7,
That seems doubtful to me.
8. I have to admit I don't like the sound of that at all.
All right. So, first one. Well, yeah. Well, I agree up to a point. Up to a point. I think that's a really valid point. Okay. Uh, well, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. 4. I think you're absolutely right. Okay. 5. Yeah, that's a bit hard to believe. That's a bit hard to believe. I can't believe you. I mean, I said 6. Yeah, I think that's highly unlikely. That's highly unlikely. Okay. 7. Huh? Huh? Doubtful. Unlikely. Yeah, doubtful. 7. That seems doubtful to me. 8. Uh, yeah. I have to admit I don't like the sound of that at all. Okay, I don't like the sound of it at all. Okay, so the first one, well, I agree up to a point. What is it? Is it a strong agreement? Is it neither a complete agreement or nor complete disagreement? Or is it a complete disagreement? Yeah, it's B. It's you agree up to point. It's neither a complete agreement nor a complete disagreement. Second, uh, I think it's a really valid point. I think that's a really valid point. Yeah, that's A. He's completely agreeing. That's why he's saying, I think that's a really valid point. Okay, 3. Well, I'm not so sure about that. No, no. I think that's a really valid point. I think मेरी सोच के मुताबिक I mean think I agree with you. I agree with you, okay? 3. Well, I'm not so sure about that. B, yeah. It's not a complete decision. 4. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, A. That's a bit hard to believe. B. 6. I think that's highly unlikely. Yeah. Yeah, it's complete disagreement. Highly unlikely. 7. That seems doubtful to me. B. It's doubtful. 8. I have to admit I don't like the sound of that at all. I don't. Yeah, C. C. He's completely disagreeing. Okay. So you can also use them in your own speaking while you're speaking yourself. Like, I agree up to a point. I think that's a really valid point. I'm not so sure. You're absolutely right. That's a bit hard to believe. It's highly unlikely. And I'm doubtful, and I don't like the sound of that at all. So you can use them yourself. Okay, now. In listening sections 3 and 4, you may be asked to identify a speaker's attitude. Match words 1 and 7 with synonyms A and G. So yeah, you're going to find them. The synonyms of these words are over here. So match them with the correct synonyms. Okay. Yeah, they're saying concerned, yeah. Worried is concerned. 2, enthusiastic. Yeah, I'm eager. I'm excited, eager to do it. 3, afraid. Afraid is scared. He's scared to do that. 4, confused. Yeah, puzzled. He's puzzled. 5, irritated. Yeah, annoyed. 6, reluctant. Yeah, hesitant, unwilling to do something. That's reluctant. Unwilling and hesitant to do something. 7, doubtful. Dubious. Dubious is also doubtful. Okay, is doubtful and dubious have almost the same meanings. Okay. So, for worried, we had concerned. Enthusiastic, we had eager. Afraid, scared. Confused, puzzled. Irritated, annoyed. Reluctant, hesitant. And doubtful is dubious. Oh, yeah, it's the same. Okay, over here. All right. Listen to the extract. What aspect of the research did students find surprising? Choose the correct answer. The amount of time it took to achieve results, the reaction of the public to the research, the findings that the research produced. Okay, so you're going to listen to that, and you're going to tell what aspect of the research did they find surprising. So it's going to be one of these 3.
Recording 24.
So, what did you think about the research?
I thought it was well thought out, although it did take 3 years to produce any results.
Yes, but that's to be expected given the age of the participants. I mean, they had to chart their progress over several years.
I suppose so.
But didn't you think the results were astonishing? I know I did.
Yeah, me too. It's amazing to think that watching TV can have such a clearly demonstrated effect on children's obesity problems. It's quite alarming, really.
I agree.
People were generally unimpressed by the findings, though, which is typical when there's a suggestion that we change our behaviour.
Okay, Yeah. The finding that the research produced. The students were astonished by it, but people were not astonished by it. So over here, what's the question? What aspect of the research did the students find as surprising? Okay. Yeah, the findings that the research produced. People were not amazed by it, but the students were clearly amazed by it. There's a word they used, obesity, within it. Obesity means to become fat. Okay. Overweight. Okay. Huh? No, that is an obsession about something. Okay. Listen again and write down all the words, phrases the speaker used to mean surprising and or unsurprising. Okay. So pay attention. Some words will be synonyms to surprising, and some words will be close to unsurprising. Okay. So I'll play it again.
Recording 24.
So, what did you think about the research?
I thought it was well thought out, although it did take 3 years to produce any results.
Yes, but that's to be expected given the age of the participants. I mean, they had to chart their progress over several years.
I suppose so.
But didn't you think the results were astonishing? I know I did.
Yeah, me too. It's amazing to think that watching TV can have such a clearly demonstrated effect on children's obesity problems. It's quite alarming, really.
I agree.
People were generally unimpressed by the findings, though, which is typical when there's a suggestion that we change our behaviour.
Okay. So for surprising, did you know the astonishing? Any other word? Amazing. Any other word? Alarming. Yeah. And for unsurprising? That is for unsurprising. I mean, this is one attitude is like they say this is something to be expected, and this is typical. Typical and unexpected. Expected. This is to be expected. Okay. So this is unsurprising. This is to be expected. This is unsurprising. This is typical. That is also unsurprising. Okay. Yeah, they used clearly demonstrated. I mean, it was clearly apparent of the effect of TV, the effect it had on children's obesity rates. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay. Persuading a suggestion. I'll make another.